Alrighty, all plugged in. Hey, Joycey. It was pouring down rain after we were coming back, and I somehow gained 15 minutes. So if you will tell everybody I am going to be right back, because I came straight in here. Give me 3 minutes. I'm coming back. Here she comes. I'm back. Thank you, thank you. Hi, Wendy. It's hard to get reorganized when you've been doing another process over on the other side. But I'll be here. I came in here yesterday and excuse me, tried to clean up some of these index cards that I was working on. I'm not the world's best at putting stuff down without a reason, making it look good. Okay. And I remembered the other day when I was working with a stencil and the eyeshadow, from the time that we practiced the pan pastels, is you got to have a bright color on the pan pastel. Duh. I was using the creamy color eyeshadow with cream colored paint. I mean, these are still good pulls. So I came back yesterday and was trying to figure out, let's see, when that pile, I added some more stenciling, and these are with my Moonlight Duos. They're really cool. You do blue, I mean, you've got a half white and half color. So I was able to get some real cool color variations. See, by getting some of the lighter blue on the thing at the same time. Can you see that? Yeah, that's pretty good. Pretty good. I mean, I'm just lost. Robin knows. She can take a look at it and go, oh, well, we're done with that one. And I look at it and go, oh, am I done with that one? And I did a little bit of jelly with some sheer paint. And this is the Moonlight Duo. You can get a tone gradation, and it's still transparent. You can still kind of see through it. Patty Tolly Parrish's men. And I did find the women. I've got them. They're taller. They're about 8 inches tall. That's a pretty color on this. Well, what I end up doing is they all look like they've got the same. They're the same all over. I lose all the layering look. So anyway, it doesn't matter how much you think you know, which when it gets to mixed media, I don't think I know nothing. And they're index cards. Theory being that hey, Christy. Y'all stick with it if you can hear me now. My internet burped. Isn't that great about StreamYard? I don't have to go stream 2 and stream 3. And some people have the idea that if you're using StreamYard, you have to have multiple people. Well, that's not true at all. So if it spins and does what it does on YouTube, just sit tight, watch the black screen, and I'll be back as soon as it reboots. Okay. We are having a lot of heavy rain, and that always tends to interfere with stuff. So we'll see if we can do this. And here's what is this? I tried some white ink in places, and that didn't really work that well. That's kind of a pretty one. Can you see me now? You should be able to. I haven't really used the Moonglow pads very much, but I just thought it was such a great idea to have a white pad in each one so you could alter the colors. Now look at that one. Isn't that a beauty? I think that one needs a little more something. And then those two. And I said I wouldn't be here till 4:15, and I'm early. Just got back from my mental health. we're rooting me out. I mean, I'm done. So maybe just one more adjustment, kind of like going to a chiro. These are the ones I didn't do anything to yesterday. I like that. So like I said, I need to go back and look at Robin's thought process again to look at what now. And I'm still not happy the glue from Tracy Bautista. That one's kind of pretty. Could use some washi. So anyway, it's not bad for a couple hours work. See, popping up already. Now that's not her fault though. I used. So what y'all been doing? Not Moon Glow pigment. Yeah, it is a beautiful color. It's Moon Glow stamp pads. This is from what's Moonlight. I'm sorry, I said it wrong. Moonlight Duo. It's the little stamps from Rubber Moon. So it's a Moonlight Duo by Rubber Moon. That's what I can never remember. So this has white and a color. And it doesn't matter if the white one gets blurred a little bit because it'll clean up. So I thought these were so cute when I started collecting stamps. Tiny little things. Dream Journal. Yeah, I used the Moon Glow on my Girl Series watercolors. I had fun. Okay, I want to do a couple pages in here. I'm getting close to the end of it. I've finished 2 of these in a year and a half. That's pretty good. Even if you said 2 years, that's pretty good. I'm proud of it. This is why I like the Oohoo glue. Oohoo. Is because your pages are flat. And you don't have to mess around with hair dryers so much. And I love watercolor. I want drippable watercolor. This is a stamp I did. Yeah, that's it. It's girls, or it's figures. But on a textured background, that's what you get. So that's kind of cool. Oh, it's trying to figure out why this wasn't here, but it's because it's backwards. Hi, Beck. I've seen where y'all have had a couple of thrift store hauls, and I've kind of been discombobulated the last couple of weeks. And there's that piece of paper that I said I needed to glue down better. I got some tacky glue. Look, guys, you can buy this for $1 at Dollar Tree. And it's a good size to have laying around. It doesn't take up much room. And there are some things that you really need more hold power or different hold power. I mean, Oohoo doesn't work on fabric. And hi, Ray. This one's stuck. Well, maybe not. There's something about this kind of work though that's very pleasing. It's more pleasing to me than the collage work in a altered book. That's okay. We know who everybody is. I'm gonna quit yawning here in a minute. It is a rainy day. Of course, we had, you guys, last Thursday when I was on, we went to bed that night. I think it was Thursday night. And it was raining and lightning pretty good. There was an F1 tornado that flew about 5 miles from here that was on the ground for 13 minutes, and it was 3 football fields wide, went right through Rogers, where we used to live. And I mean, really did a lot of damage with trees. Only one person died, thank goodness, and that was because a tree fell on their house. And didn't hear the syringes go off. That goes there. I need to figure out. This was an oil cleanup. I guess I just need to glue it down. I stapled it and then immediately pulled the paper out, pulled staples out, because the what the staples were holding it to were really lightweight papers. And I promised y'all some encaustic. Maybe that's what we'll do next week instead of oil painting again. Lena was having so much fun with her plastic. I mean, her wax the other day. And just a little education. You know, I can't stop teaching. Candle wax and beeswax alone are not encaustic. Messing with the camera. There, that's better. It has to have Damara varnish in it, or Damara resin in it, to be a true encaustic. Candle wax is just a variation of paraffin, I think. I know they have soy, but I think the soy stuff has paraffin in it. Those aren't suitable for, they're suitable for craft play and stuff. Okay. I can come back and get that down later. This is drop cloth. Isn't that cool? All right. Oh, the other day, Tuesday, when I was playing around with pan pastels through stencil, except I was using eyeshadow, here's some of what came out of a session I did with Rosemary in this. And the paper was crinkled already. This is paper that some online stores use to crinkle up and put around their product. So, of course, I save it. And you get some real neat broken up effects. I don't think I have any more in here. Isn't this fun? Oh, okay, Lane. Encaustic is the oldest art medium in the world, other than maybe the cave drawings. I don't know exactly what time the history on that. Let me pull this out. And the Vikings used it to seal their boats. They just use it kind of like tar was used in later years. Encaustic is mostly beeswax with about 8 to 10% resin. And the resin makes it harden over time. And this is encaustic. This is a sampler that just shows some of the techniques you can do with it. It heats up to 200 degrees, which is about what a candle will burn. So it's not that hot. I mean, we've all had candle wax on us. Some of the same techniques you can do with mixed media you do with encaustic, but it just includes putting down wax, and you can collage, paint on it, whatever, and then you heat it with a heat gun till it gets glossy, and then you put another layer, another layer, another layer, and as you go, the layers underneath get more cloudy. This is just pieces of string on different layers. So that's what encaustic is. And then after the Vikings, it went to the Egyptians, again, right about that same time frame. And we all became familiar with encaustic from the Fayum. Let me write that down for you so you can look it up. I'll show you real quick. Let me go. Hang on, let me go over there. That's not a good one. Let me go images. All right, now screen share. Okay. Okay. Share. And they should pop up. Oh, yeah, there we are. There we are. Okay, let's get these up bigger. I don't want to search. I don't want to search. These were painted on thin strips of wood that could be shaped a little bit. They weren't real heavy. And they were painted, of course, by the wealthy, and they had themselves painted, and the big eyes are a method to ward off the evil spirits. And when they died and their mummy was wrapped, this portrait was wrapped where the face is and then tied down real good. So this mummy, the tradition at that time was the mummy would stand in the corner of the descendant's home. So I guess at one point or another, some wife said, honey, I can't stand those mummies in the corner. I'm just going to throw them out. So they threw them out into the desert. And the sands kept those in perfect condition for 300 years or something like that. A massive amount of time. These are painted in encaustic. So they actually used colored wax, which is a process that I use to paint the portraits. And when they found these, the paintings were perfectly, here's one of the head wrapped into the mummy. This art form is virtually indestructible. And the only way that you can ruin it is to heat it. And I hate to use this analogy, but you'll ruin it if your house is on fire. And that's about as hot as it has to get. If you leave it in a hot car in the summertime, it will melt. Virtually indestructible. It's hard. This is what Linda Wessel was here on Sunday, and I said, here, buff this, and I handed her a soft cloth, and she buffed, and she buffed, and she buffed. So anyway, those are the Fayum portraits. And I'm going to go back now to here and turn this off. Then in the 30s and 40s, it had a resurgence. I think those were found in the late 1800s, early 1900s. And some of the experimental artists of the time in the 30s and 40s started trying to bring encaustic back, but they didn't have any materials or any rules or, anything really. Just maybe seeing some of those Fayum mummies. Jasper Johns is one. He did an American flag, I think was one of his more famous pieces. And they experimented with formulas and how much beeswax, how much resin. And they started the encaustic thing around, I'm going to say around the mid 80s, finally started catching on. And a few companies started manufacturing product and pre-done encaustic pieces. Real easy to get started in. So, does that answer your question, Elaine? I don't want to bore you with it. So it's just like mixed media. I mean, it is a mixed media. You can draw on it with an oil stick. Um, yeah. You do a layer, and then you put a layer of wax, and you heat it. And the heating melds that layer of wax to the layer of wax under it. So instead of 2 layers, it becomes 1. And you can go as many layers as you want. 8, 10, whatever. 2 or 3. You can use it to make monoprints with. You can wax a piece of paper. So there's a fine art exhibit. I don't remember the artist, but he did long pieces of, like, help me, rice paper, which is real thin. And he put a real thin coating of the encaustic on it and hung it. And when these things kind of rustled, they're stiff, but he hung them in a gallery like an inch or 2 apart and offset so that they made a pattern as they went through the gallery. And when the air moved through that gallery, you could hear them rustle. It was just like an organic experience. So anyway, there are many, many, many variations and possibilities to use with encaustic. This is collage. This is embedding. It's got string embedded in it. This is image transfer. You do a lot of that sort of thing like we've been doing in journals. This is just the ink from the paper. The paper was rubbed off. This is what's called accretion. And I started with a piece of the elastic bandage they put on when they take blood. And I just glued it on there, or not glued, I think I warmed the wax and put it on there and wrinkled it up. And then I took wax and I just added it like that, and it accretion, what does that mean? Anyway, it gathered on the high spots, so that's what makes this pattern. And these are just embedded into the wax. So I paint portraits mostly with mine, but lots of other methods are included. And anyway, all you need is Rosemary Morris does an encaustic kit, and it has a candle scent warmer, which is similar to a coffee cup warmer that you see in offices. But this candle warmer does not go over 200 degrees, which is the maximum temperature for the wax. It's perfectly safe. If you get it too hot, it smokes, and then it's as dangerous as anything else. Am I frozen? No. If you have breathing issues, make sure you have good ventilation. I don't have breathing issues. I don't worry about it. Beeswax is totally safe. Resin is totally safe. It's natural resin from a tree. And of course, a special tree. But some of that kind of stuff appears in food. So, paraffins and stuff like that. So, jellos. So anyway, my point is, unless you melt it to smoking, it's perfectly safe. You can do it any way you want to. Let's see. Let me type this in for you. Oops. My computer is sideways. Those are the 2 main companies. A 1-pound bag. And Costco sells a smaller bag, but a 1-pound bag will run about $20 to $25. And so if you can get a half bag for 10 or 15, that's all you need. I color my wax with oil paint. Both of those companies sell colors already made up, just like you buy acrylic paint and mint green. They do the same for encaustics. However, if you do your own coloring, you can get by with a minimum palette. Because if you can imagine having 50 sticks, they're about like that, about 3/4 of an inch cube. To look for specific colors, the same thing as looking for a specific color of apple barrel paint when you've got 32 or 30 bottles. So I mixed mine with oil. Acrylic does not work with it, but oil does, watercolor does, graphite does, India ink does. You can dip it. You can put it on a pancake griddle and lay your paper on top of it. You can brush it. You can heat it so that there are no brush strokes, or you can leave brush strokes. The brushes that you use, hey, CB, the brushes that you use are the cheap chip brushes from the hardware store. I also use, a lot of people say don't use, but a lot of people don't listen to, okay? It's an old wives' tale that you can't use a synthetic brush with encaustic because it'll melt. I use these brushes all the time with encaustic, and I've never had one melt. You're only dealing with 200 degrees. If you were up to 250 to 300, you might. But I like the softness, and I don't want any texture. Let me see. I don't see another. I'll go over all this stuff. I promise next week we'll do encaustic and I'll demonstrate all this. But just those cheap chip brushes you get at the hardware store, those are natural bristle. They're a hog bristle and they're great for art. So anyway, that's encaustic. This is a sampler that I did for my art school where I introduce you to 4 of the main mediums in the world and 4 of the oldest. And this was one of the projects for the encaustic. So, any more questions? Rosemary has a kit, and her kit to make, let me get mine, I'll show you. She gave us this little tin, had a lid on it. It comes from the dollar store. And it's perfect if you're just going to do a little bit of waxing and doesn't hold a whole lot. This is the warmer. And you can get it yourself. Let's see if it's got a... It doesn't say anything about a brand. But it's a candle warmer. That's all it says on the back. But anyway, it only goes to 200 degrees. And that's all you need. So again, if you're going to just work with the clear medium, then this thing is great. And you can use a dog food or cat food can. I use those all the time. I use a big griddle, a pancake griddle that you can get it, anywhere to store for next to nothing. And I use that, and then you can sit your little pans right on top of it. But if you're just going to use clear without having colors added to it, this is fine. And that's all you need. Now I was going to show you, I lost track. Her workshop was a kit. Trying to hold that away so it doesn't bug you. So the kit included collage materials, odd collage materials. It included a little piece of silver foil. It included 1 tin worth of medium. It included a chip brush, and it included this panel, which is just a canvas panel, and again, it was Dollar Tree, and then book covers. And then mine is going to look like this. And I've got brads that will hold these together. Let me show you this. And then after I did my collage, then we just brush encaustic medium on top of it. I think that's the same thing, Elaine. It's just the 200-degree thing. Now, this particular one, Rosemary said she checked, and it stops at 200. And probably for that reason, so that the candle that you've got on here won't start burning at 250. Okay, maybe the coffee makers or the coffee cup things, maybe they get warmer than 200. That could be. So anyway, candle. The 200 thing is important because you don't want to smoke it. Okay. So, and then the encaustic is kind of sticky when it's first put on. So you take your heat gun, and I kind of warmed the edges just a little bit. And then the silver leaf just attached to the edge of this board. So everything was on, and then you just put a layer of the encaustic. And see how it's matte? Kind of, it's shiny, but it's a matte glow, different than this being buffed. See how shiny that is? And see how shiny this is not. This has one coat, but the sampler thing, when Linda Wessel was here the other day, I sat her down with it and I said, now buff. And she said, oh my God, this is so much fun and it smells so good. They smell like beeswax. I would advise go on Amazon, and I would advise Encausticos, and I would advise getting a smaller container. I mean, a pound isn't that much more, but you can do it. This was done with this amount of encaustic medium. Okay, so I'll give you an idea of what you need. But take a soft cloth, my Bird's Eye all natural, no bleached diapers thing, and you just take it and you rub it. Now, you do this because the wax will cure as it seats itself. See how glossy that is? Some people like theirs dull, and some people like theirs buffed. But that's what you do. And like I said, it's virtually indestructible. Indestructible. And if I wanted to, I could come back over this and put another layer. It dries instantly. Okay? The minute that it starts to cool off, it dries. And so this little tin right here has a blue in it, probably ultramarine, and it's perfectly hard, and it just lives in this. And when I get ready to need some blue, I can put it on and reheat it. It takes about 5 minutes or so to reheat. So there you have it. So if you want to get ready to play along, I'll just do an introduction and walk you through that and keep my book put together. Okay, got 2 greens. Okay, noise rattle. Now, Rosemary's kit includes everything to make this book. And let's see, the class was 60, and it was 75 and included all the materials. So you can do the math there and see if you just want to buy the medium and use one of your candle warmers, that's fine. Okay, cool. Thank you for asking questions. And really, the sky's the limit. You can make encaustic journals. You can make, I took some jelly, no, I didn't. It wasn't jelly plates. I had my griddle, and I painted on the griddle with colors and patterns and stuff. And then I took deli paper or rice paper or something like that, laid it on the griddle for just a few seconds and pick it up, and it's got a perfect coating of wax. And they're pliable when there's just one or two layers of the wax. And I took those papers and made a book out of it for my friend Pam Belcher. And there is a video, a walkthrough of that book from a couple of years ago. So anyway, like I said, the sky's the limit when you want to work with it. It's a very flexible, very forgiving. If you goof and don't like what you do, you warm it up, scrape it off with an X-Acto knife. I found something else that wasn't real hooked in. Okay, so this is where we were when we quit. Okay, who did I miss? ASMR. ASMR. Help me. Help me, help me. I don't know what it is. Well, you know what, Elaine? You need to come over sometime. Lynn Wessel was here Sunday, and Rosemary lives in Fort Smith, and Lynn and my friend Pam and 3 or 4 others of us were there for, let's see, last week it was a plaster book that we made. Let me get that. I'll show you. And I go as a student if I promise to keep my mouth shut. Ah, that's a joke. But this little workshop was $60, and it included all the materials to make this little book. These are all plaster pages. This has plaster, either DAP. Oh, that one doesn't. That's watercolor goose. Nope, it does have plaster on it. We put plaster on pieces of wedding gowns. This is a piece of an old what do you call it? Needlework. And we used different kinds. We used plaster Paris. We used Venetian plaster. We used DAP, you know, the household thing that they use to fix holes with. And what I think I'm going to do with mine is paint. This is absorbent. The plasters are absorbent. And I think I'm going to paint wildflowers, maybe. I don't know what medium yet. It'll depend on, I know soft pastels would work. I think watercolors would work. Isn't that cute? And even print fabric. See, that's fairly flexible. Just depends on how. It's kind of like encaustic. Now, I have seen encaustic books where they take plaster like this and then put encaustic on top of it. And then we bound it together. And this is sari silk. And just a piece of fabric for the background. Isn't that cool? Oh, and I'll remember that about 30 seconds. And this is too white. This was Venetian plaster. And then a coat of Mod Podge. And it made it real shiny. And it's really way too white. So I'll tone that down. Anyway, cute little project. And sometimes Shannon Green comes. Actually, she took that workshop, but she took it on Sunday instead of Saturday. This was a funky old stencil of ivy that I got at Hobby Lobby back way back 15 years ago, back when I didn't have anything and I would just buy whatever I get my hands on. So this has been floating around in my stash, and I pulled it out the other day and used it to pull a jelly cleanup. And look what I got. Isn't that cool? I took a picture of it, I think. I thought I did. Maybe I didn't. So I thought that would be kind of cool just right here, especially with the black. Okay, did I miss anybody? I don't think so. Let me check this phone. I took a picture of something on Tuesday, and I've started doing that. Nope, it's not this. This one. Because I can print these and print your own artwork. Oh, that's that. Here it is. This was an inkjet print that I wasn't going to use, and I just spray them and let them bleed, and I get all these beautiful colors on the back side, and then I just did a cleanup print. Isn't that pretty? So I'm going to use that today too. And I want this. I'm going to cover. I'm going to cover the whole page. The door is shut, and somebody must have come to the door, and they will quit in just a minute. Okay, let me find some paper. Oh, I did a video on this. I need to use this. You make your own glassine, and gosh, it's a clear. It's just a clear spray like you get in the hardware store. And when you spray coats of it on your paper, you get your own glassine. That's cool. This is just laying here. We use this for a gluer downer. The crinkly sand. Whoop, 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 whoop. You need something under in the middle. It's all Lynn's fault because I cleaned up. Oh, I know where something is. County paper. And Joycey is experimenting with me. I'm not experimenting. I just am using, but she's a more thrifty person than me. The Uhu sticks and determining how long they last her. So she's keeping all the ones she's used, dating them so she'll know. The original research that we did was that if you compare apples to apples, and that means a 1.4 ounce stick, thick like that, then this is very cost effective. And what she's doing is seeing if it lasts good for her. And she does a whole lot more collage than I do. This is 1.3 years, I think. I found them over 1 year. 12. Quit moving. 12 in a pack from Amazon. I think we decided it was about $1.50 or so, $1.80 a stick. We don't need that because I feel like I've been away from mixed media a year. It's just been a couple of weeks. I was talking to my head doctor today. I'm getting to the age that I need to start focusing on some things if I want to improve in my painting or not. I don't have to. But if I want to. And I want to do them all. Okay. Now, Crummy stencil with jelly printing on top of it. This gives us a real good look. Hey, Gail. Oh, I think I've got some of that paper. But I can't tell until I get some of that. This is a tracing paper that architects and people use. I got this at an engineering store a long time ago. And you can find it on Amazon with the bee paper. I think they're about the same price. But I've got several rolls of white, and back then it was just a couple of bucks a roll. So I got several. And I have small ones and big ones. But I'm not going to get any of that because I've got exam paper. I've got, you know, rice paper. I've got a ton of deli paper. Let's see, that doesn't come off. It comes off here. Let's see if I can get it in there. You know, I think I'm just going to let that float over. My desk isn't very clear because I've got all the stuff for the index cards going. And where I have trouble with layering is that I fall in love with something just the way it is. Ray, I think I talked about. Oh. Turn my watch off. Lost my train. I think I talked about it. I'm not sure I demo. Well, you can't demo it because it's an outside job. But you can get some real cool effects by making your own. I'm using my fingernail to break that. I'm going to start by trimming some of this. You might want to try to get it straight. to mess up something simple in just a few steps. Good enough? Can't wait till my eyeshadows come in. I got 282 colors coming in from AliExpress. Still yawning like crazy. I'm sorry. This particular book gives me great pleasure to work in. This particular style, I should say. Well, there's some cool stuff on the back, too. Okay, we're not going to use it. I think some of my best papers come when I'm not planning it. I don't even care about wrinkles. Anyway, the moral of this story is don't throw away your discarded inkjet prints. I'll stack 2 or 3 together and spray them with water and just let them sit there. As you can see, it's a nice start. And I tear because it's organic, and I tear because it's faster than scissors, and it's faster than a cutter. Got my Walmart sack down there for my... Now then, we got 2 pages that kind of... Sometimes you have to be careful when you're burnishing with these crunchy bits and stuff that we all seem to like so well. Put a piece of paper between you and the burnisher. Looks like I missed a spot right there with glue, but that'll be okay. Now then, this is a jelly print with the purple flash that I was using. So I could do the same thing. I found my Patty Tolly Parrish stencils. There's some feathers. And I got some girls. Girls. I like the girls. These are the ones I pulled out. I've been having better luck with myself pulling stencils for working on those cards, just a few at a time, and then working those all the way through a particular time frame or day or whatever session. Here's Patty's Girls, and this is the big. I don't think I have the smaller 6x6. I wish I did. So I'm thinking about a stencil. Not that one, it's too small, that's too big. Nope. I'm funny about stencils, I didn't realize that. Maybe. Nope. This looks like one I cut out of paper. Okay. Yeah. Nope. Too big. Maybe not big enough. Maybe just right. Let's do that. Let's do that. I could do that one across the bottom, though. I could move the stencil. Do like that. Okay, get out my little trusty brush. Let's see. No, I don't want to do. I'm talking out loud. You don't need. Yeah, you do. Oh gosh. I had some of this. Ruh-roh, Reggie. It's all right. Not worried about it at all. I don't guess it really matters. One is blue shift, blue flash, excuse me. It's blue with a purple, and this is purple with blue. And I don't remember which one I used. So I'm going to use this one. Where did I put my... Oh, it's up here. I really don't like to roll off on just blank paper, and then you've got a mishmash. I like to kind of think about my colors. Okay, I'm going to try the purple flash. This looks like it's got gold or undertones. Still got some on me. I need to have a jelly print day. Get these things cleaned up. Yep. Especially when you use it to pull stencils like I've just been doing, like here. You get some good stuff. Actually, I'm not picking up much color. Whoop. And I roll off on another jelly plate too. I'll lay that right there. And I'm going to fold this page over on top of it. That way. See, I just keep rolling off on this. And that helps me make grunge. Yeah, there we got some. We got some that time. And I think I'm just going to leave that. We've got a little bit of the purple and the black and a little bit of the purple and the black. Oh, thanks, Lynn. Hey, baby doll. Okay, now see if I still remember how to do. How to do intuitive scripting. Mhm. I'm here to tell you this works good. This was a liquor bottle top or wine top, and I put foam tape on it, and it looks like the foam tape came off on the inside, but it fits good. So hey, we're good. This cute little bottle had walnut ink in it. Now where are you going to put your... This is a great brush for Japanese calligraphy marks. I can sometimes kind of see if my mood is angular, or angular kind of is a no business feeling and or all business, and circular is kind of relaxed. And yeah, there. Keep an eye on the jug. This brush is the Loosey Goosey by Cheap Joe's. It's a natural hair loose goose, Scroggy's loose goose. Because you get, the hairs are all different lengths, and so you get different kinds of marks. Yeah. And then just dump that in water. I bought those brushes, were inexpensive, so I brought them several different sizes, and there's another one in here, right here. This is what they look like when they're dry. The different lengths of all these brush hairs are what make pretty marks. Now, find some of my pretty washi sitting up here with Lynn's pretty white brush. I bought these from, a lot of them from AliExpress. I want that one. I don't want that one. Little bit of washi. I like this washi because it is transparent. I shouldn't have done that. I didn't do it too bad. Because there's brush marks. I mean, ink wet. Just like that. Isn't that cool? Just looks like it grew there. Now the working on the index cards has helped with this kind of work. I want to do a chop stamp, put on all my work. I don't know what I want it to say, but that works. Done. Ooh, I like those 2 pages. Beautiful. And just from junk papers. And this old ivy stencil. Well, we're doing so good. Let's do another. It sounds like he is home. I think he had to go show a duplex or something. Let's do the purple flash. The purple flash does have the gold. A little bit of this, that, and the other, as Elaine used to say. Or Jerry, maybe. two pages that kind of look alike till I decide what I'm going to put in them. On them, in them, on them, in them. It's kind of interesting. Look at this. This is an inkjet that I wet, and it all came right through on the back. That's my Sarah and her best friend. Ooh, looky, looky, looky. This was from a commission I did, and I just wet it down. Look at that. Is that cool or what? Let's do something with that. Let's see. Midnight blue. I do believe we're going to do midnight blue. Let me see if I can get some more of this off here. Now, these Stays On pads are, I don't know how new they are. They're new to me, but I love them. They're permanent, and they kind of seep into the paper. Like if you just put it on this edge, it kind of seeps into raw paper. Won't if it's got acrylic on it, but so what are your favorite streams that I do? We do have a stream. Are there any? Painting people? Well, that just happens to be my N8. I need to do the bottom of that too. Really? Painting? You see, I don't do a lot of that because I don't think y'all... Lord knows I'll never be a Robin in collage. I mean, you know, we can always be what we want, but it's what your passion is. That is so cool. Ready-made. What's my favorite? What's your favorite thing I do that you like on my live stream? That's my trouble. They're all fun. So let me ask you this. What do you all want to do with your art? Do you want to learn to paint? Do you want to do more collage? Altered books? If you could do anything you wanted to, what would you do? It's a loaded question. I'm not setting you up for anything. Hey, K-Berg. CB, you're like me. Nope, I don't feel that. Hi, Carrie. Lynn is a beautiful painter, but she doesn't think she is. And I don't think I am, so I think that just goes with the flow. Looking for something else. This one that needs some more painting on it. I'm trying to manage my papers. Never summoned before. I think that's too black for this. Oh. Here's something about to run off in the floor. I don't think I need it though, but I do have this. It's a dish mat from a sink mat from Dollar Tree. We got our first Dollar Tree. I'm so excited. Uh-oh. Oh, it's a 2-pack. All right. Bye, Ray. Have you tried, I know you have, painting with your non-dominant hand? I don't want that one. It's too little. This one. I'm a little bit ambidextrous, so I did a whole painting one time with my non-dominant hand. I had to keep putting my hand in my back pocket to keep it from jerking up, trying to get in the act. It's going to be a great jelly print. A stencil mask, whatever you want to call it, because it's thin. Use my X and O. I wish I had a lucite block handy. Bye, Carrie. Not bad. Not bad. Let's see what else we got over here. Puzzle pieces. It's hard to do puzzle pieces on stream, or carving on stream, I should say. I want my X. I don't see my X. All right, what do I want? That looks pretty cool. Thinking. Ah, found it. We got a brand new Dollar Tree. It's the first one in our county. And the reason for that is because this is Walmart's home office. And it's over in the next town. And we also got a Target over there. Pretty good, pretty good. All right, let's glue some stuff down. What's a? I keep using my piece of paper. Oh, here it is. Got to order some more oohoos. Peg. I did some of these one day. I don't know why I thought I could do a puzzle stamp without. They're okay. I didn't carve deep enough. I could go back. Now these are done, for those of you who don't know, on the red plumber's gasket. You can get a 6x6 sheet of the 3/16. They make a 1/8 and a 3/16 for a buck, $1.50, and you can buy it on a roll at Amazon. So many things I want to do in so little time. And here's some of my trying to decide what the picture is. This is Alphonse Mucha. You can't really tell what it is, so it doesn't really matter. I couldn't believe it last night. I was looking on Amazon for something else. And I found some of this 4-inch washi tape. It was like $12 a roll. I got this stuff for next to nothing. It's not a very good cut you did there, my dear. I wasn't trying to be all matchy-matchy. I like these books because you just kind of work with what you've got laying around. I'll let that end right there, and everybody will think it's supposed to be there. Okay, now what do we have? What do we have now? Goldish one. Now this one's easier because they're vertical. I need my big scissors. Well, for not wanting to do matchy-matchy, I sure did. Yes, it is, Miss Lynn. Now, I think those are just right cute. I got it at AliExpress. And sometimes those stores in China have stores on Amazon. Pretty much the same price, maybe just a little bit more. But I have such good results ordering straight from them. Yeah, did you see this, Lynn? That was what I did before you got here. So that's not too bad. I've done 2 pages that kind of look like they were designed to go together. I've got the one I just cut. This one is just looks like old writing and postal stamps and stuff. I know I've got more. About 3 or 4. I don't know where they're hiding. Anyway, they will turn up. Well, Gail, they tell you on the front end how long it's going to take. Some companies ship really fast, and some put them in with larger mail order things. And I don't order anything from them that I need immediately. But for stuff like washi, I like that. Look at how the colors picked up. You just got to do your research. Okay, I think that I'm done. Beth comes on with Colleen on the with the altered book stuff coming up. Don't ever lay your brushes like this when they're wet, because the water will migrate down and interfere with the handle. So always lay them flat until they're dry. All right, guys. Thanks for coming. And I'm going to take my pictures of these and pop them on Instagram. I've kind of fallen down on that lately too. But look, I'm getting close. Oh, Lynn, you didn't hear me say that. This is why I like Uhu. See, my pages are completely flat. This kind of journaling also reflects your kind of like your aura of the day or your mood of the day. Here's some of that washi. I love Moocha. I one time did 5, I think it was, of the girls in Counted Cross Stitch. They're so much fun to look back on. Anyway, you're welcome, CB and Kathy. Well, I didn't either at Lynn until I tried Uhu. All of this is Uhu glue. You don't have a drying time, really. Okie doke. That's it. I'm gone. See ya.